Sunday and Narc-O-Matic. I'm smoking. Don't say anything about it. Yes, I know it's bad. I'm a stressful person. I got stress. Calms me down. And I'm going to talk about something that's somewhat stress-inducing. And you can't smell it. It's not making you cough. It's a cigarette on the screen. So never mind. And my paintings aren't up. You see how I stick notes to the wall. You can't lose a note if it's stuck to the wall. Okay? I'm not perfect. And here we go. I talk a lot about my mom, my narc ex-mom. And I write about her frequently. You know, she was the most vocal annoyance, picking on me. What seems the most horrible to deal with is that she oscillated. She was like one of those lawn sprinklers. She oscillated from really fucking mean to quite nice, I might say. Yes, she could be nice. She was the only one I talked to on the phone, you know? If Narc Dad would answer the phone, immediately pass it to her. That guy called me once in my whole life, and I was like, what's wrong? Like, I thought something was wrong. And it was not that long ago, within the past decade. And she was out of town, and he just felt like chatting. It almost threw me off the sofa, the shock. What? He's calling me? Okay. She and I, it's a love-hate thing that was going on, because she would lay on the niceness and then turn mean, and it would fuck me up because it gave false hope, and then pull the rug out under it. I'm back, the asshole's back. You know, I would never phone her after 6 o'clock because she'd be slurring. One of those, okay? She had the capacity to be nice, really nice. And so it feels like a bigger betrayal. And it makes me mad at myself for falling for it each and every time. You know, like she's going to be nice this time. 6 years ago, I fired her. Okay, I'm in my 50s now. So it's like 40 some years. She had this fucking routine going on, and I'm mad at myself for falling for it each and every time. Geez, things are going to be different this time. You know, it's almost meaner to offer that false hope of niceness, and then voila, here's the asshole. She's back again. You know, I'd confide stuff in her, and then she'd fucking go and tell what I confided, but then tell me she told because she wants to hear my reaction. Okay, it's annoying. The level of betrayal. It's because you think you're like a friend, and then they do it. It's almost worse than having a consistent asshole, because at least you know they're a consistent asshole. But she would play hot and cold with me. That's why I complain about her a lot. It seems a bigger betrayal. But I want to talk about him. Gil. Man, a few words. Tell you about Gil. You ever play that game where it's dark in your room? You might have a sleepover or something when you were a kid, and you flick the light on, and someone's there, your little audience, and you know the light's out, and then it's on. You make a face, and then lights out, and then you know you've got a chicken on your head or something. Little funny things, and every time you're doing a different thing. Is that a good analogy? I don't know. It's, I guess what I'm getting at is like little flashes of a quick, short clip from a movie, from different times in your life, little memories like that. Flash this, flash that. That's what I got when I think about him. Him who was, for the most part, quite a charming man, a soft-spoken man, handsome in his own way, French-Canadian, and everybody loved him. He was a teacher at Ontario Hydro, and quite a likable guy, I guess, you know. Really did, smiling Gilly, really did come across, and even to us kids when he was in that nice mood. And he can prolong the niceness for long periods of time where you almost forget. Makes it a little easier to forget the shit he's done. But he's like a heat-seeking missile. And when he doles it out, it is direct, laser pointed at you, and pow! Executed to execute. It is like delivered to have the most concise impact. The words, the things he's done. Let me start back to a very early memory. They were strange. He was strange. Is it a French-Canadian thing? I don't know. Kiss me on the lips. Always. Up to the last time I saw him. Hello. Kiss on the lips. Okay? I guess from a very early age. Because all my life I had cold sores. Like him. And Mom. He had them. Mom had them. I had them. The three boys didn't. Husband kisses his wife. Father kisses me. Here's a memory. And it's a flash. And it's him. In our house in Pembroke, so I was under 5 years old. Had me on his bed. And he's laying on top of me. No, he's not fucking. He's holding me down, laying on top of me with a sewing needle. I'm screaming. Let me hold still. And he's pricking it with a fucking sewing needle. You know, I remember that. I remember standing in the living room and that sensation of the whole room moving back and forth and my head bang, bang, smashing me like this. Look, look, look. Against the wall. Huh? Shaking me and smashing my head against the wall. I remember that. I remember him having me on the swivel chair in the living room, in the house, on his knee. Think I don't remember this, huh? Dad, if you ever fucking look on the internet, I do. Naked, with a snowsuit on, bouncing on his knee, rubbing my cunt. Yeah, I can use the word. With this, that slippery fabric against my pussy. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that, Dad. I remember, okay, I'll tell that story later, but I remember I went to a dance-a-thon. Yeah, we moved to Deep River. I was like I don't know, maybe 14. Went to a dance-a-thon with my friends at the church, okay? At the church. And I danced and danced and danced with David Hunt. And I had a great time fitting in. Dancing for hours and hours, falling asleep and dancing. I came home, it might have been around, the ungodly hour of 10 or 11, you know. And I walked in the door. We had like a foyer when you walk in. The front door's here, the back door's here. There's steps going upstairs this way, okay? And on this side is the garage door, and the garage is attached. Okay, so get it like this. This is the floor plan. If you were looking aerial view, this is the foyer. Front door here, back door here, up the stairs here, and the garage door would be here. Okay? I walked in the front door. I guess he was waiting at the door. He grabbed me, put me up against the back door. Against the garage door. See my nose? Look at my nose. See how it's crooked? Yeah? Yeah, Dad. Thanks. He punched me in the fucking face and broke my nose. Huh? Yeah. But you know, when I graduated high school, guess who asked me for a dance? David Hunt. We're dancing, and he goes, you know what? I saw what happened. And I said, what do you mean you saw what happened? I haven't talked to you since that dance-a-thon. He heard a lot of shouting in the, I'm making a video. Yeah, actually, can you not? Sorry, I had to pause. My roommate decided to come in and start doing the dishes while I'm making a video. David Hunt asked me to dance at the grade 13 graduation, and we're dancing, and he said, I saw what happened. And I'm like, what do you mean you've seen what happened? What, when, where? I haven't seen you since that dance-a-thon when I was 14. He said, when I walked you home from the dance-a-thon, I heard a lot of shouting and slamming, and I ran around from the front of the house, the front door, ran around the house, and I was looking through the back door to see what's going on, and I saw your father beating you up. Guess what, David Hunt? To this day, you're the only witness to my abuse. I would love to talk with you if you ever are around and happen upon this. The only witness outside the family to my abuse. Physical abuse, I mean. My son has heard abuse, but this is like seeing me beaten up. Yeah. I'd like to talk to him, to thank him for validating that and being my witness. Another time, not that long after, actually, I was about 15 or 16. This time I made it up the stairs, in the foyer, and then up the stairs. And he had me, that fucker. He had me up against the wall, again. Now, by this age, I'd been going out with a lot of boys. I was 15, I was popular, and I was looking for love and attention. And maybe I was rebelling. Maybe I was. Maybe I got in with the wrong crowd. Yeah. Maybe. Maybe I did LSD. Oh, bad girl, Denise. So what? Tripping. So what? Smoking pot. So fucking what? and what do you expect, right? He had me up against the wall, and he was banging my head on the wall. Gee, what does that remind me of, huh? So he got me in quite the mood. A mood much like I'm in now, actually, reflecting back, remembering and telling you. And he said, "Why are you living here?" And I looked at him. "Because it's free." I knew he was going to hit me. I didn't care. I didn't care. That was the truth. Because it's free. Because you know what? There's no other reason to have been living there with his violence, beating my mother regularly. Her coming to me, showing me the bruises and saying the only reason I stay with him is because of you. Because of you kids and because of you. Guess what his response was to that wrong answer? Can you see? I don't know. I took a photo of it. See that scar? Yeah, that's where the pin went in to reattach my thumb that he broke. He broke my fucking thumb. Yeah. Dad. Ungrateful prick, since I basically saved his and mother's life. Another memory. Let's go back. The amazing time travel of storytelling. You can go forward in time, you can go back in time, and we'll go back to 1972. I'm 8 years old. We're all home. It's a Sunday. And what happens on Sundays? Church. Church happens. And then after church, cleaning, dishes, the CBC radio, hymn sing on television, drinking, arguing, and beating your wife in front of your kids, you fucking loser. You fucking loser, coward little man, beating your wife in front of your kids, you fucking loser, Gil. Yeah. The mayhem was quite solid that night. Around supper time, oh yes. And the three boys fled up the stairs. And I looked. I was on the stairs and I looked. Peeked through and saw him beating the shit out of my mother on the floor like a dog, kicking her, beating her. And then slam, and out goes Gil for a drive. Yeah, that's what he does. She eggs him on. That's the thing. She'd egg him on. She would not shut up. And because they'd fought so many times, even at 8 years old, I learned the pattern of what happens. She pokes and pokes and pokes and bitches, and guess what? Boom! He snaps, he hits, she shouts, he's silent, she's screaming, there's crashing, and the door slams, and he goes out for a drive, and then she boo-hoos to us. Rinse and repeat. Yeah. Rinse and repeat. And that's how it goes. I'm not stupid. Even at that age. And I knew the pattern. And I knew he was going to hit her. I knew he was going to hit her. And I knew he was going to leave. And I went and comforted Mommy. Ooh-hoo, he's so horrible. Look what he did. Look at the welts. Look at this. Ooh-hoo. And I'm parentifying my mother at 8 years old. And I go upstairs. I'm going to leave him. I'm going to leave him. I'm going to leave him. I go upstairs and I tell Richard, she's going to leave us. We're not going to have a mommy. I was 8, so he's 8 years older than me. He was 16, and he said, don't worry, I'll be your daddy. Another pause. My beloved son, who loves his mother and is such a good and wonderful person, brought me an iced coffee from McDonald's, which is very nice because I got the oven going, making dinner like a normal family. Doing my best, having a nice normal family, doing the opposite. I look at how I was raised, and I do the opposite. A little segue here. Narc Mom said to me, this backhanded compliment, I don't know how someone like you managed to be a good mother, but you are. And my response to her was, well, of course I'm a good mother. Look how I was raised. And I watched her puff up. And I said, yeah, I just looked at how you raised us. And she's like, and I said, yeah. And I did the opposite. And that's a fact. Anyways, back to the story. Boo-hoo. He hit me. Look at the welts. I'm going to leave him. He's gone. I'm going to leave. And I'm upstairs and I tell Richard, like I said, he's 8 years my senior. So he was 16. I was 8. I'm not going to have a dad. I'm not going to have a mom. They're gone. And he said, it's okay. I'll take care of you. I'll be your daddy. God bless him. You know, and you know how horrible a 16-year-old boy should have to be like dealing with that, you know, seriously. At any rate, I go downstairs to check on her, because after all, I'm my mother's mother at this moment. She's sitting on the back, the stairs, on the way to go to the basement. From the kitchen, there's 3 stairs. You put your boots there, and then you go down the basement stairs. She's sitting in front of the back door. She's busy. She's focusing. I'm trying to talk to her. But she's looking straight ahead and she's focusing. She's listening, but she's focusing. And what do you think she's focusing on? What's she busy with? She's holding the rifle that she'd gotten out of the rafters from the basement. She's holding the fucking rifle pointed at the back door, waiting for Gil to come home. Mommy, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm gonna blow his fucking head off, she says. This little girl is here, saying, what are you doing, Mommy? I'm gonna blow his fucking head off. Well, you know, I said about the patterns, right? Patterns of witnessing abuse. You get to learn, because children learn, don't they? They learn cause and effect. You see a common scene enough, you learn cause and effect. And I learned that when the fighting happens, that whenever visitors would come over for a beer, because that's what visitors did, they came over for a beer, that the narcs would be better. They'd stop fighting and they'd act like everything's fine and everything would go back to normal. The fighting would just stop. I started loving people coming over for a beer. So what did I do when I saw Narc Mom? with the rifle, waiting for Narc 2 to come through the door, huh? I did something for which I've received no thanks from the whole family who owe me a thanks. I went over to the dining room where there was one of those things that was like a little rectangle thing with a metal lid that snapped closed, and you push a button, it opens, and you slide the dial down to whatever letter it is, and it opens, and I slid it down to B. And I called Norm and Jean Bear, my parents' friends, who often came over for a beer. And I dialed that phone. Hello? Hi, it's Denise. I was wondering if you want to come over for a beer. I said that. And Jean Bear said, Denise, what's going on? Daddy hit Mommy. She was bitching, and Daddy hit Mommy. And Daddy went out for a drive. And now Mommy's sitting on the stairs. With the rifle. I'm just gonna blow his fucking head off. And you know, they came over and they took that rifle out of her hand. And that fucker who broke my thumb, that ungrateful prick, perpetuating the abuse, and you think he didn't beat her when we moved to that new house where he broke my thumb? Yeah, he sure did. It continued. The brothers went off to school, and I was left alone in that house. And at night, hearing through the bedroom wall where my room was on the other side of their room, Jesus, Gil, ow, stop, ow, ow, no, don't, ow, stop. He's raping her. He's raping her. And I grew up with that. So, maybe I'm the shame of the family. Maybe I didn't turn out as they pleased. And maybe when she says, your father wanted a daughter, repeatedly throughout my life, maybe I know that what she really meant was what she wasn't saying, which was, I didn't want a daughter. He wanted a daughter. Why did he want a daughter? He had a set of 3 boys. Oh, a daughter'll be nice, like picking an hors d'oeuvre off a tray. I think I want a daughter. Guess what? This daughter doesn't want to be so feminine like you want me to be, Dad, because I see what happens to women. They get beat. Fuck you, Gil. Fuck you, Pat. And fuck you, Golden Brothers, who don't want to talk about it because it's all in the past, because no, it's not. No, it's not.